So I was going to share some tips from working from home. All right, for fun, let's close this out here a little bit. I will, we will capture the notes here, and we will share them. Actually, I'll just do these all digitally, but I'll play with my note cards for fun. So a little bit of fun this year. Again, 10 crazy tips for working from home. Bonus one we talked about, actually, it's down here in the meetup, is staggered meetings. Have a meeting that's like kind of like Matt said, a Pomodoro, 25-minute meeting or a 55-minute meeting, or free advice here, tech advice. Don't start your meetings on the top or the bottom of the hour, because all of the collab platforms, doesn't matter who you're using, if you're using WebEx, Zoom, or anything else out there, they have a huge spin up to start a meeting. And so when everyone tries to start the meeting at the same time, it don't work. So hence, if you start your meeting at like, say, 10:10, you have a much better experience. So again, stagger those meeting times. So that's number 0. All right, number 1, okay? Set a schedule and establish some boundaries. Okay, or I like to say is working from home does not mean work 24/7. And if you haven't worked from home, it's amazing how if you are really focused and you do use practices like deep work or Pomodoro, it's amazing how quickly your day goes by. Next thing you know, day becomes night. So set some boundaries for yourself and make sure you don't burn yourself out. So and if you haven't done that, you should do it. So we've talked about this a lot tonight. Make your presence known to others. So as John shared, there's products like Sococo where you can see who's in the office and who's not, but there's other simple things you could do. Let's check in, check out, post a message if you use a chat site, or the one that I even talk about sometimes for especially a lot of the work that I do, use the telephone, give someone a call, okay? Just kind of see, hey, I'm here. And then of course, as a courtesy, let them know when you leave. So that way you don't leave them hanging. So, and I do think, again, with all these chat tools like Slack, if you're done, log out completely. So it doesn't look like you're still online if you're not watching it. We talked about this as one of the core pillars, provide transparency of what you're doing. So if you're experienced with Lean and Kanban, this probably isn't new to you, but I work with a lot of people that aren't. And so hence, some simple way that you can provide transparency as to what you're doing. So maybe a task board, doesn't have to be perfect Kanban. It could be maybe just some cards on a Trello board, or even just sending out a daily update. Like, hey, here's what I'm trying to get done today. Again, in support of whatever goals your business is going for. So it's something for you to reflect on. What are you doing to provide transparency of what you're doing? So, and then see where it takes you. Number 4, kind of like we did tonight, take time to connect with others. So hence, if you're starting a meeting, people are working remotely, if you spend 5 minutes kind of just letting people talk about, what's on their mind or kind of, what's something fun, that builds safety. And so it's a good use of time. So it's good. We focused on it a lot tonight because we're kind of a meetup. So meetups are fun, but even at work, even if the agenda is very focused, that having that intro, kind of that icebreaker sometimes, really good use of time. I think is a bunch of people said tonight, it's okay to leave. So, have your boundaries, going back to number 1. So you have the boundaries. And if you need to leave, like John kind of showed in his with his little sticky note that he held up, that's okay. And it's important that you respect yourself and understand that if we're virtual or we're remote, we might span time zones. So leave. Number 6, we talked about a lot of these ideas tonight. Try something new. So maybe if you haven't had a chance to, go work outside, or like some people said in the chat here, go for a walk. That's cool. Or the one that I've done, if you take a break and have lunch, is go try to explain what you did in the morning to your kids if they're home from school. And one of my experiences, you can explain things to your kids. That probably will help you explain them to your teammates and your colleagues and that kind of stuff. So try that. Number 7, be intentionally mindful. This idea that when you're in a team or you're in an office, you get feedback from just people being around. But this idea to say, I've worked on this, I need to stop what I'm doing, and then I really need to, maybe debrief with myself. Or that's why I was throwing the debriefing ball around here tonight. We're not gonna have time to use it tonight in the group, but throw the debriefing ball for yourself and answer the questions that come up on it, so you can self-calibrate. Are you on track? Number 8. Invite feedback more often than you share it. Challenge for those that are long-winded like yours truly, but this idea to say, before you share feedback with someone else, have you invited others to give you feedback? So that kind of a self-control, kind of like the counting to 8 thing, but this is more for feedback. Number 9, I think we did okay tonight, but assume the technology won't work and something's going to break. And kind of like even John showed, it's funny because a lot of us do hold cards up in front of the camera. Probably the reason you do this is you've been bit before by something you wanted to share just not working. So always have a plan B. And most importantly, you know what? If you assume it's probably not going to work, when it does work, it's something to celebrate. The other thing is, at least stylistically, is like I like sometimes people like to like rip on the technology, like blame it, like make excuses. Just roll with it, move on. And number 10, last but certainly not least, is say thank you. And so with that, I do want to say thank you to everyone for joining us tonight. I know that this is kind of a new experience for a lot of us here, and it's kind of like, okay, we're all here talking to each other. There's some interaction. And I know some of you, I don't think had a chance to say anything, and by no means was there any requirement to do so. But it's a way to work and to learn from others. So for those that were able to share and give us some ideas, thank you for sharing however you did. If that was, with sticky notes or if that was talking, we appreciate that. And of course, as we share the outcome tonight, that's will help others learn too. So thank you. Thank you for being vulnerable and open to us. And understand that, again, that thank you-ness or saying thank you does help build safety. So